The first time I ever heard the name Catherine McCauley was actually in a Panera in Columbus, Ohio.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was around 1990 when the university actually formally made the move from a college to a university. What motivated the move was that St. Xavier continued to expand. The Sisters of Mercy have been aware of the trajectory of fewer numbers for 40 years. So in one sense, how the Sisters of Mercy have adapted to it has been they've been as proactive as possible in terms of realizing that there would be fewer and fewer of them who would be in positions of leadership at St. Xavier. When people come to work at St. Xavier, they're introduced more formally and over a longer period of time with what the Mercy story is. Most people that would come here to work would be strongly encouraged to participate in the mission days and the heritage days that tell the story of the university so they could know it themselves. And then the Sisters of Mercy, for now more than 30 years, have opened their doors to lay colleagues to become associates in Mercy, which is a non-vowed but covenanted relationship where you share a commitment with the Sisters of Mercy and continuing their works, celebrating with them, being involved in their spiritual life.
Sister Carol, who works in campus ministry, she's Sister of Mercy. She started this program called Mercy Care, where you have Mercy Associates, and Mercy Associates are men and women who have taken like their own vow, commitment to live mercy in their own lives. So they come to campus in their Mercy presence for different events. So like they come to Mass when we have like Mercy Day and Foundation Day and all those fun events.
As in all things, I think there's a lot that's available to students to become highly aware of the Mercy story, the Mercy legacy, the Mercy charism. But life at St. Xavier is invitational.
There's tremendous potential for any student who enters into the life of this place and into its history and sees in the story of the Mercies in Chicago opportunity for themselves to become who they want to be and what they want to give to the society at large.
I also went on a Belize service trip with Sister Shannon, and she was a fun person to be around. She was a very kind lady, and she helped us build a house, and she was great. I know there are some groups on campus that try to advocate for more volunteer opportunities, such as like MSPJ. I know they try to do a lot of awareness, like I know they do the hunger banquet and things like that. So if the Sisters of Mercy also got involved, I feel like they could contribute to even more experiences to give to those students here.
Sunday nights and the choirs and the student involvement in the liturgies and so forth, and it's a very good thing. But there's so much more. Last night, 350 students and alumni made lunches for homeless people in the cafeteria. That's where the Mercy charism lives. It lives in the work that our students do in hospitals and schools and in the community. And I have a great deal of respect for the way the Mercies have infused their spirit.
My first contact with the Sisters of Mercy came in my first year here at St. Xavier. I arrived here as a transfer student from Moraine Valley. As an adult student, I was in undergraduate courses working towards a bachelor's degree in English. And I ran into a hard financial time where tuition was expensive and I didn't know how I was going to make ends meet. And I just went into college directory and picked out all the executives and sent emails to everyone, telling them how I was a student and I lived in Blue Island and I had to walk to school every day because I couldn't afford to get a bus. I had to transfer, yada, yada, yada. I mean, when I look back at it now, I was like, dude, what were you thinking, right? So no one responded. but one person responded, and it was Sister Sue Sanders. And she sent me an email, and the email just simply said, "Stop by my office." Now, at this point, I didn't know what a Sister Sue Sanders was or what a Sister of Mercy was. It was St. Xavier University, and my concept was it was named after some brother named St. Xavier. So I go to Sister Sue's office, and it was my first contact with mission and heritage, and my first true understanding of the mercy mission of the institution. We didn't really accomplish anything in that meeting. We sit, we talked, she learned about me, I learned about her, but that was the first of many meetings and many conversations I had with Sister Sue. And over the 2 years of me being here at St. Xavier, she pulled my behind out of the fire many a time, both academically, as a mentor, and just even as a friend. The one thing we notice, the friends of the sisters, is that they're getting older in years, and it's not like, you have a lot of individuals stepping in to take their place. So, you really feel the loss of the sisters in the institution. There are a few that still teach. When I was a student here, unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to have any of them. But it's really good for students to be able to meet sisters at Focus and to get an understanding of the true mission and heritage of the institution, and also to understand that, the sisters are, kind of the hidden weapon on campus. If you need a resource and you don't know where to go and you can't call home for help, and you've, really, endured everything that you can endure, a lot of times you can call a sister and really get some sage advice. So it's sad that there aren't as many on campus as there were at one time, but it's good to think that they are still around, and their presence is central to the mission and the vision of academics. I would guess that most times, if you were to stop and ask a student in the hall, where a sister was or how to find the sisters, that few would even understand the connection of the Sisters of Mercy to St. Xavier and 20-some other institutions across the United States. I would say, as a student at St. Xavier, for an overall experience that is holistic from beginning to end, to become a logic-based critical thinker, it would be great to immerse yourself in at least one heritage experience while being a student here at St. Xavier. Service trips, feeding the homeless, just working with the sisters. While I was a student here, I had a chance to go over and change some light bulbs for the sisters because none of them wanted to get on ladders, or, to do some outside cleaning, or some, straightening up some garages, or, cleaning the car or whatever. But, just hanging out with the sisters and understanding, that we appreciate, give them an understanding of our appreciation for their sacrifice and their dedication. Because if not for them, St. Xavier, from the Ward Academic Center all out, would not exist. It's based on their sacrifice. So it's important for students to not only engage in the Mercy trips that are sponsored each spring and in each fall, but it's also important to spread the mission and the heritage of the Sisters of Mercy.
I mean, for me personally, service is my entire life. It's become who I am. Since my freshman year, I went on a service trip. It changed my entire life, and I've been on like 6 since. I think once people get to see service, that's where their spirit goes. It's hard to say. They always say when you do service for other people, you're the one getting the most out of it. You could be at a soup kitchen giving somebody food, or at a shelter, packing clothes for somebody. And yes, they're getting the basic necessities, but you're the one giving back. There's some sort of internal gratification and happiness that comes along with these trips, and they're also eye-opening. Service is eye-opening. I mean, the first trip I went to, the last trip I went on, I've seen so many different types of people, so many different types of situations that you see on TV or you hear about, but you don't get it until you see it. And then it becomes this sort of, I guess, power building up in you that you want to change, and that's the spirit part of it. You want to make the difference. We're the generation of idealists and optimists and people that want to be socially aware of what's going on around us, and we're the hope for the future. So if we were to have service opportunities in the very beginning, that spirit's going to live on.